We see that Mixu's clearly got a different game in mind because he's chosen Canyon this time around. And I think that is absolutely brilliant because I'm almost certain, and in fact I'm willing to bet my game on it now.
Game?
Hydra will pick Frontiers.
Yeah, I think every time, you reckon?
Every time.
Yeah.
That man is happy with that map. Choke points everywhere.
Not only choke points, but like the throne transition. I don't know if this was something he was playing the whole time, but like when you transition to thrones, that map has like a really long path back to your main. If you've got ground, base, anti-air, you gotta waddle for days to get back into your main. Especially if you're like your third out front, you're like going this huge, and then they just walk over the cliff and it's done. Right? And that was why Santa had so much trouble, right? Like in Aru, like because he has to rely on Aarox, and if they've already hit that critical mass, it's really hard to flood in Aarox to stop it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is super exciting. So Canyon, you're a Canyon fan, right? A fan of the Canyon?
Huge fan of Canyon. Huge fan.
Nice.
I think this is one of those, like, shout out to Philippe, of course.
A legend.
Felipe. I actually don't know the exact pronunciation, but I guess it depends on whether you're putting on the full French for it or not. The map is brilliant. The map is brilliant. It's just like, how do I put it? It's like such a nice arrangement of things where
there's always something in many different places to think about and contest, you know? There's always play on the map.
What it is the best path is through the middle of the map, and that's a garbage path to take most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's got all these high grounds over it, and it's narrow, and you don't want to fight in there, and all sorts of stuff like that. So all the areas you want to be on, the grassy high ground areas either side, they are hard to get to and blocked off early and not useful early. And so it creates this really nice dynamic of like the kind of the areas it pushes you into. It's like, oh my god, is he going to lose a Sapari to the camp? Oh, Mixu, oh no.
Microed. Oh,
was it because he was killing T-bots?
Buddy system.
That's a huge L.
It's not even like a game changer. It's just the it's a matter of shame.
Emotional damage.
Yeah. It was a poor Sapari. Yeah, and you know what the other thing is, the rocks as well. Like you will want to bust those down as Mixu, and I think I'm not sure if he's doing it this game, but if he's doing the heavy upgrade count again, then I could see that being quite fast, right? Like and pretty surprising, right? When those rocks fall, and then all of a sudden you haven't got enough citadels there, and a whole lot of Sapari flood into your base.
Yeah. No, the rocks changing that opening for sure. Especially because that kind of, well, a lot of people take it as the fourth. It's kind of arguably the fifth or fourth, depending on how you play. But the base outside of the main essentially is a easy to attack one is when these rocks are down, because all of a sudden you can come just flooding down the hill, and trying to defend it from a low ground is a pretty miserable experience overall.
Yeah.
And look at the contention over these Pyre camps. Hydra in the previous games has been gifted Pyre camps really near to his main citadels. On this game, you gotta work for it. There ain't no freebies here. This is like corners of the map sort of material.
Well, that's a freebie.
Okay, maybe one freebie here.
Well, one freebie is about for the boys, just as a treat. Yeah, and this one's he's gonna run off, probably go meet up with his friends in the north. But you're totally right, and having to start that engine of citadels a bit slower is gonna make a big difference, right? He's dancing.
I like this actually. I was about to say I don't like it if he runs it towards his other units, because I think that's just gonna lead to more dead units. Yeah,
you just let that guy pass away. He's for the cause, you know.
This time had come.
Yeah, he led a good life. Now we've got a big ball of Sapari, and I assume there's a couple of Saoshin in there. Oh my god, there's 2 Absolvers. That is a squad. So this happened last time. This is the early hit squad, and yep.
I was just gonna say, it's such an interesting choice having so few Sapari and Saoshin versus like the ratio. I think it's just such an interesting choice.
This guy's gonna go clean up this Zentari out here. And this Zentari is actually, I'm probably unbeknownst to Hydra, a huge player, because that hit squad wants to hit early. You know, they've got the 2 Absolvers. That timing is going to be crisp. It's going to get in. It's going to do a whole load of damage and then teleport home. And delaying that by the 10 to 15 seconds accidentally by sitting, you know, like inadvertently with that Zentari is going to be huge. Yeah, so deploying those guys. So now he's going to want to try and force these deploys over and over again so that these units can't like do what they want around the map, right? Deploying again. He's going to probably peel back.
Nice intervention there to save one.
Yeah, nice. And pick up that.
That was a nice trade. That was a really nice trade, but these Absolvers are still vulnerable.
Yeah.
If there's another intervention, they'll get out clean. I like this move to run the Safari back to scare them off. That's a really nice play. Really nice play.
Threatening, maybe a bit too much threatening.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Wind steps up now, and so it's really hard to get any damage. You know, like every time you get a unit low, it's going to chase peel back. I don't know why this is the strat, but it's going to get punished for it now, and then the rest are going to.
Admittedly, he is mostly training Safari, but no, now that the Salshin are going down, this is not good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Absolvers weren't achieving anything in this time either. They're just sitting at the top of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he can win step on that just yet, but man, I really liked it up until that chase. I think without that chase, you've done really well. You've just saved your key units.
Additionally, that chase works if wind step isn't up. And it was coming up around that time, right? If he had it earlier, he would have jumped the Absolvers. And so as soon as he turned around to chase, then wind step came up, and then he started losing, right? Because I think 4 or 5 Zephyrs blinked back, right? And if those Zephyrs were all dead, that trade is immaculate, right? Like all of a sudden you're just like taking advantage of this huge like speed bonus, And so, this is one of the things with facing Hydra that's very different to facing someone else with, like facing me, for example, if I was making a big Zephyr pack. I'm not microing like that, right? I'm missing some. I'm losing too many guys. I'm mismanaging my Zephyrs, but my Hydra's a bit too consistent with it. And yeah, it definitely shows. Oh, this is going to be a cancel for sure. It's exactly the kind of thing that Mixu's been looking for, unless he just walks on by.
Oh, no, Mixu, you've got to take what it's given. You have to hit that base. You can't be trying to run by, because you've got to know that the units are waiting.
Not going to get it.
I was actually just about to point this out, actually, as one thing that the siege up is not it. You're just leaving
these using his
Absolvers here. It's tough here for Mixu. When you find the Zephyrs, you just don't want to. You want to leave. Like, that's actually the correct solution. You actually never want to be fighting these. And what I was going to say is, there's Pyre on the map. And if there's Pyre on the map, you should be taking it as Mixu, because the whole game plan here is to not be in vision, right? As soon as you're not in Hydra's vision, that's where he stands. Right there where we see him at the Citadel. And he stands there because he has to guard against the run-bys. He has to respect it. And so, don't do the run-by. Go and take all the Pyre instead. And maybe have a couple of guys that threaten it, just to keep it a real threat. But as soon as you see him, you don't want to be fighting. You just want to be running away.
Yeah, and these... Oof. Salshin got a little bit body block there. Gonna pass away. These Safari are ultra ambitious for thinking that. That is a huge block of Zephyrs.
It's going to be another one step to catch them, I imagine. These packs of units are getting punished so hard. Oh, don't go back up there. It's going to be game over.
Mixu keeps running into these interesting situations with Safari where I think he thinks they're way stronger than they are against this kind of matchup. Yeah, and so there's just a whole lot of units
speed or something.
This fight. Yeah, they're not going to... Yeah, that's going to help, but I don't know if that's enough. If they were doing this earlier, you know, if the whole pack was here and then you had all of the assistance, but
for
like
sure,
as it is, there's not enough. And here's the Aegis coming in, trying to protect these units.
But surely you just
a lot of these are hitting the tower.
Citadel here, It's a really tough fight. If that tower gets low, it's going to get Empire Unbroken, you know it, and this is committing your whole army to it.
It's the Empire Unbroken, there goes the Absolver.
I think it might be game over already. Oh, this is so tragic for Mixu. I think he had such a good game plan, and just these small executions, that's so rough.
Yeah, losing so many units in these little micro trades and stuff, like not quite building up the Safari, because Safaris do take that, right? Like they do put enough pressure on that you can't fight them very well. But as it stands, like he just hasn't got enough in the right places before he's starting these engages, right? Like, a couple of turnarounds with 5 guys into 20 Zephyrs is not the way.
Yeah, you just don't want to be near them at all. You constantly want to just be running further away and disappearing into the darkness, so that you can maybe find a trade like this where finally he isn't in position. Yeah, I mean, this is really nice. This is really nice, of course. Like, those Zephyrs can't micro nearly as well against this quantity. he'll get the fire singer, but he has to know that the other units are coming now, so he'll want to kite his way out or deliver from evil if he needs
Just
to.
pick
but
up these two guys and then probably go home. Oh, yeah, he wants that one. Yeah, now it's time to leave.
he's taking too long again. You're going to lose so many units on the retreat. I think a deliver from evil here is worth it, just because you have multiple charges. It doesn't cost you too much fire. It costs you so many units.
Out
on
with
the
these guys. Yeah, you're right on the defending against this now, though, right? Gotta get those units just chilling there for a bit. The Ajari heal up and the tower heal up, and then now being able to pull apart, like, because the Zephyr Flock works as a single entity, right? You know, it works when it's all one thing. Here's the Arkmother. Can help with this fight, but I think they just don't fight that, right? Yeah, and just pull back and.
Without Salshin here, this isn't a fight. Like, you really need the speed boost to be able to run down the Zephyrs. Otherwise, it's just kited for days, and I'm really just.
Deploying to the hallowed ground there, the Absolver's going to deploy, and I think he's going to pull back once it is. Oh no, he's just going to go for the fight. Pillar of the Heavens, yeah, that's going to make the difference there. Pillar drops down. These Zephyrs are going to be super, super strong right now.
And Arkmothers here, like, that's all well and good that you have Arkmothers, but they're just no good. Sapari isn't a composition. Sapari Arkmother also isn't a composition.
Salshin? Now we're talking. But these two aren't quite enough by themselves, and the Zephyr count is just outrageous, and it's getting worse. Oh, there's Salshiner in the
Salshiner on the side. No,
yeah, that's gonna be
tragic.
it. There's too many Zephyrs here, and there's just not enough Sapari to deal with it. And even if these are the perfect ordained passages, it's not gonna matter because the Zephyrs get to choose when to fight, and they're just kiting back constantly. You know, the wind step micro is on point. A couple too many units, it's getting lost to nothing.
And credit to Hydra for absolutely crushing this. Like, Hydra has just phenomenal Zephyr game.
No weaknesses.
We've definitely focused on Mixu here because we're so excited to see the Sajari play. But I just have to say, Hydra has dominated this. Completely textbook crushed it.
Yeah, every time he pushed off an attack, as soon as he'd done chasing, it was straight back to that point, like you pointed out. Like clockwork. It's like reset, cool. You've been spotted, cool. Everything's flying at you like a missile, right? Getting sent straight out to your location to blow up everything you have and then reset back to reload, you know?
Yeah.
And there's no way you can fight that army. Oh, and here's the throne as well.
I like this ability. Yeah,
GG.
there it is.